Hi, I'm Louise Warren and I'm one of the independent endpoint assessors working on Multi-channel Marketer. And I'll talk to you today about the written project report with presentation and questioning. So as the apprentice, you'll complete a written report of around 2,500 words. On EPA day, you'll then do a presentation of around 20 minutes. And then a 25-minute question and answer session with the independent endpoint assessor who'll explore some topics about your project in more detail. So the written report allows demonstration of professional competence, and your project needs to have contributed to your employer's business and be part of your everyday work. It will show how you make the KSBs, the key skills and behaviours, in practice in your day-to-day work. And it's important the report shows your own contribution and not just the activities you've done as part of a team. Here's some examples of the types of project you could submit. And the project is selected by the apprentice and the employer together. And then a scoping document uploaded to us at Gateway where we approve the project title. So the project output must be documented in a report and presentation. So the research and written project report must start after the apprentice has gone through Gateway. And the employer should ensure the apprentice has time and resources within the project period to plan and complete their project. Here are all the areas the project report must include. For example, a summary, introduction, scope of the project including any key performance indicators, the project objectives, project research, risks and perhaps mitigations as well, financial budgeting and resources, discussion and findings, outcomes and the impact of the project and how that project has been measured in terms of success, recommendations and conclusions, and then the appendices and mapping document. So it's 2,500 words for the written report, and we have a 10% tolerance above or below that word count. So any words under the word count will still be marked. We'll still mark it if it's less than 2,500 words. However, just be aware that you might not give yourself the full opportunity to show the best work that you can do, and perhaps that may affect the grade that you get awarded. If you go over the maximum word count, so over the 2,500 plus the 10%, we won't mark anything past that point. You must include the mapping document, and that helps the independent endpoint assessor mark your work. And this must be uploaded to our system, which is called ACE360, by the end of week 12 of the EPA period. You must also upload your presentation materials with the report, and then we'll give you at least 2 weeks notice for EPA day. So the presentation with questions is normally around 45 minutes, and that's broken down to 20 minutes for you to present to us and then 25 minutes for questions and answers. So your presentation needs to cover the overview of the project scope and KPIs, a summary of what you've done as the apprentice and the outcomes and how they were achieved. So the purpose of the independent endpoint assessor questions is to verify that the activity was completed by you as the apprentice, and to seek clarification when required, and to explore some topics in more detail. We'll assess those KSBs that you perhaps haven't fully covered in the information that was given to us on the day or in advance of the endpoint assessment, and we'll assess your level of competence against the grade descriptor. There's only 5 KSB areas for this assessment method: marketing methods, principles and practices, business and organisation, communication and copywriting, campaign management, IT and digital. So the mapping documents are available in our resources section on ACE360, which your training provider can access. And this mapping document covers all the KSB areas required. So you could use that as a checklist to make sure you've covered all the areas. And it also breaks it down into pass and distinction for you. Create yourself an easy referencing system so that the independent endpoint assessor can easily locate which parts of your evidence map to which area. and you upload the mapping document with the other pieces of your evidence. So for this part of the assessment, there's pass, distinction or fail grades available, and it's then combined with the other parts of your endpoint assessment so that you can be an overall grade of pass, merit, distinction or fail. So you'll need to be in a room on your own to complete your endpoint assessment, and it will be most likely completed online using a platform such as Zoom or Teams. The EPA is conducted in exam conditions and will be completed from work, home or your college and training provider. The assessment is recorded for quality and training purposes, and we'd ask you please to be logged in nice and early to check your connection and that you can screen share. And of course, remember to bring your ID on the day. So in summary, your project must start after Gateway, which is an assessment plan requirement. Your report's around 2,500 words, and your project must show a real business benefit. Remove any sensitive information for GDPR or data protection and confidentiality purposes, and reference any sources. Try to talk in terms of what I did instead of what we did, so in terms of what you contributed as the apprentice. And include in the presentation the overview, scope, KPIs, project outcomes and how these were met. Always check the assessment plan and focus on the KSBs. Good luck with your endpoint assessment, and here's our email address if you need us.